Greetings, Local 2627 sisters and brothers. Today is Monday, October 15th, 2012. I hope everybody had a great holiday, and I hope everybody really enjoyed who participated in the DC37 Italian Heritage celebration at Roosters on the Bay on Saturday. It's always a great celebration, so I know everybody had a ball that actually went. Now, you know, during the 50s, about 35% of all workers in America were union workers. That percentage has decreased to about 12% today. About 12% of the people who work in this country are union workers. So you can see what's happening. We've lost a lot of people, and we're going to lose a lot more if we don't have the right people in the White House and in the municipalities, especially in New York City. If we don't have the right city council and the right mayor and the right controller, we're going to have a very serious problem. So it's very important that you vote. If you haven't registered to vote, you need to go out and register to vote. You probably only have a couple more days left. But whatever happens, you need to talk to your family and talk to your friends and make sure that they go out there and they vote on November the 6th. In New York, the polls will be open from 6 to 9. In New Jersey, the polls will be open from 6 to 8. So please make sure you make a point that you're out there voting on November the 6th. Because life the way we know it right now will be over if the wrong people get in office. We had a caucus for contract negotiations for CUNY, a caucus of the unions who have members at CUNY, to talk about what we're going to do, what we're going to request, any changes or any additions to the present contract. There's small little nuances that have to be addressed, and we sat down and we talked about it, which I won't talk about because they don't like for us to talk about things like this before we sit down with the agency. Now, we don't expect to have any negotiations with CUNY until we have the negotiations and the contract is resolved with the city, because the CUNY uses the city's contract as a model for a jumping point, a place where to start off. So we will keep you updated on what's going on. Now, another thing, if you change your title, you change from one agency to another agency, in case of some places, if you're in CUNY, you change from one location to another location, make sure that you contact membership records at DC37 815-1570 to let them know that there's a change, or just ask them a couple of things about your records so that it does reflect the change that you've had. Also, always remember to change your beneficiaries if you have to. If you have a birth in your family, make sure that you notify the beneficiary office in this building and let them know. Make sure that you notify NICEs, because you may have to change people that's on your records. Also, you have to make sure that the new person, the new addition to your family, is included in any benefits that you have. So this is important. Keep your records updated. Now, DOE has sent out a memo a couple of weeks ago telling the members that they will have their shifts changed to avoid paying them overtime. When I spoke to DOE about this, what they said was that they didn't mean it like that. What they meant is if anybody, for example, who worked 9 to 5 and was forced to do overtime, say from 5 to 9, for example, that they could have the option of changing their schedule from 1 to 9 if they don't want to put in, a longer day getting that overtime, or in some cases, if you're over the cap, that overtime compensation in comp time. So with this, we have to stay tuned. Members, keep your eyes open and let us know if you hear anything. Because remember, the only way we're going to know that they're violating the contract is if you tell us. And remember, the contract, every contract that I've seen that this local's involved in, all have the same statement. There will be no changing of shifts or schedules to avoid paying members overtime. Now, there's also 1.7 million people living in poverty in this city. That's a shame. And how can we be living in poverty when the mayor is increased his wealth to up to $25 billion right now? I mean, we're getting poorer. You can't afford to live here anymore. It's a shame of what's happening to us. They're warehousing properties, New York City properties, instead of putting people in them. They're just keeping them bare. Eventually, what they plan to do is privatize it. The way they privatize in Roosevelt Island, the way they privatize in Governor's Island. I mean, you know where I'm going with this. So please keep your eyes open, and and please, again, I have to remind you, you got to vote. You have to vote. If you don't vote, you might as well move out the country this time, because this is going to be a whole new ball game, a whole new ball game. Now, we still have T-shirts that people who bought T-shirts, who paid the deposit, the $5 deposit for the T-shirts, they still have not claimed their T-shirt or even called us to make arrangements for it. So please make sure that you call and ask for your T-shirts. We still have them there. Remember, these T-shirts are for your size. You ordered your size, and they're here. And again, you gotta vote. We're being beat up because we're not doing what we're supposed to do at the polls. We need to send an example out there to these politicians. We need to. We need to make sure that the people that we get in the city council, the mayor, the controller, are all people that we want to be in there, who have our concerns and our welfare in their hearts. Else they have to go. And this week we have no good and welfare to mention. And in a lot of ways, it's a good thing, because that means no one is injured, or we've had no one lose anybody, no loved ones in their family. Until I talk to you next week, this is Robert Jai in solidarity. Have a good one.